Walk through any new car showroom in America right now and you'll see it. Salespeople pushing electric SUVs with big screens and bigger promises, while a Camry hybrid sits quietly in the corner, ignored, unglamorous, and about to outlast half the lot. That is the strange state of the car market heading into 2026. The vehicles getting the most attention are not always the ones you should actually buy. And the vehicles nobody talks about at dinner parties are often the smartest financial decision you'll make all year. After years spent around service bays, trade-in inspections, and long conversations with owners who came back 6 months later, either thrilled or furious, I've noticed a pattern. It's not about horsepower. It's not about screens or acceleration numbers. It's about what happens after year 3, when the warranty clock starts running out and the real cost of ownership shows up in your driveway. So today we're doing something a little different. I'm counting down 7 vehicles that, based on Consumer Reports 2026 predicted reliability data, combined with real-world ownership risk, depreciation, and repair complexity, are simply riskier bets than they look on the surface. Then I'll show you 5 vehicles that quietly do everything right, the ones that don't trend on social media, but that mechanics actually recommend to their own families. Let's get into it. Before we start, one thing needs to be said clearly. None of these 7 vehicles are junk. Some of them are genuinely impressive pieces of engineering. This isn't about bashing anyone's purchase. It's about ownership risk versus reward, and whether a better alternative exists for similar money. With that out of the way, let's start the countdown. Number 7 is the GMC Acadia. The redesigned Acadia moved to a more truck-like platform, and while it looks more rugged, that shift brought a more complex drivetrain and infotainment system into a segment where simplicity used to be the whole selling point. Consumer Reports predicted reliability data has consistently placed GMC's newer crossovers below average, tied to electrical glitches and first-year software issues that tend to follow a full redesign. None of that means every Acadia will have problems. It means the odds are working against you. A retired school teacher I know compared an Acadia to a Toyota Highlander hybrid, similar money and mileage. She loved the Acadia's cabin, but the Highlander hybrid's predicted reliability score was noticeably stronger, and a hybrid drivetrain reduces brake wear and transmission strain in stop-and-go driving. She went Highlander hybrid, and a year in, her only real expense was tires. If a 3-row GMC is what you want, that's understandable. They're comfortable and roomy. But if reliability matters more than badge preference, the Toyota Highlander hybrid or a Honda Pilot will typically outperform it in predicted reliability and hold resale value better too. Check service records, ask about transmission or infotainment recalls, and get a pre-purchase inspection either way. Number 6 is the Rivian R1T. On pure capability, the R1T is remarkable. But Consumer Reports has flagged newer EV truck platforms, Rivian included, as having below-average predicted reliability, tied to the complexity of dual and quad motor systems, air suspension components, and software still maturing as the brand scales production. That complexity is expensive to diagnose once the factory warranty runs out. A contractor in his 50s cross-shopped an R1T against a Toyota Tacoma hybrid for work duty. He loved the tech, but needed a truck he could count on every morning, and was nervous about service network availability far from home. He went Tacoma hybrid, and 18 months later, the only surprise was how quiet the ride was compared to his old truck. If you want serious capability and don't mind being an early adopter, the R1T earns its fans honestly. But for predictable running costs, a Toyota Tacoma hybrid or Ford F-150 hybrid will typically score higher on predicted reliability with a far more established service network. Check battery health reports, inspect suspension components, and get an independent inspection before buying any EV truck used. Number 5 is the Chevrolet Blazer EV. This one had a rocky launch, with early software problems that led to actual stop-sale periods before fixes rolled out. Consumer Reports predicted reliability data for GM's newer EV lineup reflects that turbulence. The core issue isn't the electric motor. Motors are mechanically simple. It's the software, charging system, and infotainment integration that has been the weak link. A young family wanted an EV crossover for the wife's commute. They looked hard at the Blazer EV for the styling and price, but comparing predicted reliability and total cost of ownership against a Honda CR-V hybrid, The CR-V Hybrid won on nearly every category: dependability, resale value, and a nationwide service network that doesn't require a specialized EV technician for basic maintenance. If you're fully committed to going electric and love the Blazer's design, you're accepting more risk for that. If dependable daily transportation matters more than going electric specifically, a Honda CR-V Hybrid gives you excellent fuel economy without the software growing pains. Check for open recalls, verify any stop sale repairs were completed, and test every infotainment function before buying. Number 4 is the Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid. Mazda builds genuinely nice interiors, and this SUV drives better than most three-rows in its class. But the plug-in hybrid variant specifically has landed below average in Consumer Reports' predicted reliability data, tied to the added complexity of managing a gas engine, an electric motor, and a battery pack together, plus a turbocharged inline-six more intricate than a naturally aspirated engine. More components generally means more potential failure points, especially past the 100,000-mile mark. A couple compared the CX-90 PHEV against a Toyota Highlander Hybrid. They loved the CX-90's driving feel, but the Highlander Hybrid's simpler four-cylinder system, without a plug-in battery to manage, gave them peace of mind. And Toyota's hybrid track record is about as proven as it gets. They went Highlander Hybrid and have had 0 unscheduled repairs since. If refined driving dynamics and genuine luxury-adjacent styling matter most to you, the CX-90 is a legitimately nice vehicle to drive. But for lower long-term ownership risk and simpler hybrid technology with a much longer proven track record, the Toyota Highlander Hybrid is typically the safer buy. Ask for full service history on any plug-in hybrid, inspect the high-voltage battery health report, and don't skip a pre-purchase inspection just because it looks new. Number 3 is the Genesis GV60. This is a genuinely beautiful vehicle, and Hyundai Motor Group's EV architecture underneath it is impressive engineering. But newer luxury EV nameplates from any brand tend to post below-average predicted reliability scores, largely because they combine unproven long-term durability with the added expense of luxury brand parts and labor once something needs attention. A charging port sensor or suspension module can cost meaningfully more to replace on a Genesis than on a mainstream brand, even at an identical failure rate. A businesswoman was cross-shopping the GV60 against a Lexus NX Hybrid at similar sticker prices. The GV60 impressed her with styling, but she travels constantly and needed a longer track record and lower repair risk while away from home. She chose the NX Hybrid, and its Toyota-derived hybrid powertrain has given her nothing but predictable, low-drama ownership. If cutting-edge EV technology and standout design are what you're after, and you're comfortable with the ownership risk that comes with any newer luxury EV platform, the GV60 delivers a genuinely special driving experience. But for buyers who want luxury badge appeal with substantially stronger predicted reliability, the Lexus NX Hybrid is typically the smarter long-term hold. Check battery degradation reports carefully, inspect for any suspension fault codes, and always run a full pre-purchase diagnostic scan. If straight-talking, no-nonsense used and new car advice like this is useful to you, go ahead and hit subscribe. I've got more videos coming on which vehicles are worth the premium and which ones are riding on marketing more than substance. Number 2 is the Kia EV9. Kia has made huge strides in quality over the last decade, genuinely. But the EV9 is a large, complex three-row electric SUV built on a still young platform, and Consumer Reports' predicted reliability data reflects that newness with a below-average score. Bigger battery packs and more advanced hardware add more systems that can develop issues, and a three-row EV asks a lot of a platform only a couple years into real-world service. A grandfather wanted an EV9 to haul grandkids around. He loved the third-row space, but comparing predicted reliability against a Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid, similar interior room without a large EV battery to maintain, made the choice clear. He bought the Grand Highlander Hybrid instead, and has been thrilled with the fuel economy and total lack of surprises since. The EV9 is a genuinely impressive vehicle if you want to go fully electric with three-row space, and don't mind being on the earlier side of a platform's reliability curve. But if predictable, lower-risk ownership matters more than going electric specifically, The Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid typically offers stronger predicted reliability with excellent real-world fuel economy. Inspect battery health documentation. Check for any drivetrain recalls and get an independent inspection no matter how new the vehicle looks. And now, number 1. This is the vehicle that made me want to build this whole video, because I see buyers walk right past better options to get to it, over and over. Number 1 is the Honda Prologue. I know that's going to surprise some of you, because it wears a Honda badge, and Honda has decades of earned trust behind it. But the Prologue isn't built on Honda's own architecture. It shares its underlying platform and much of its electrical and software system with a General Motors EV, and Consumer Reports' predicted reliability data for the Prologue has landed below average as a result, closer to the GM platform it's built on than to Honda's own long-standing reputation for dependability. That's an important distinction a lot of shoppers miss, simply because of the badge on the hood. I had a longtime Honda owner in for a look, a man who had driven Accords and CR-Vs for 30 years and trusted the brand completely. He walked in ready to buy a Prologue purely out of loyalty. When I explained the platform sharing situation and showed him the predicted reliability comparison against Honda's own CR-V hybrid, which is built on Honda's proven and thoroughly refined hybrid architecture, he was honestly a little stunned. He test drove both and ended up buying the CR-V hybrid. Nearly 2 years later, his only expenses have been oil changes, wiper blades, and a set of tires. No electrical gremlins, no software hiccups, nothing. This is the one I would put my own family into without a second thought. The CR-V hybrid uses a 2-motor hybrid system Honda has refined over multiple generations. It doesn't rely on unproven third-party EV architecture. It doesn't require special charging infrastructure planning, and it delivers outstanding real-world fuel economy while posting some of the strongest predicted reliability scores in its entire class. It's not flashy. It doesn't have the biggest screen at the dealership, but boring, proven, and dependable is exactly what you want once the warranty runs out and you're the one paying for repairs. If you want a fully electric Honda specifically, and you're comfortable accepting the reliability risk that comes with a shared, newer EV platform, the Prologue drives nicely and has real appeal. But if dependable, lower ownership risk transportation from Honda is what you actually want, the CR-V hybrid is, in my opinion, the far smarter buy for most families. Check the full service and charging history on any used Prologue. Inspect for software-related recalls, and never skip an independent pre-purchase inspection. So that's the countdown. 7 vehicles that aren't necessarily bad cars, but that carry more predicted ownership risk than a comparable alternative sitting right next to them on the same lot for similar money. The GMC Acadia, the Rivian R1T, the Chevrolet Blazer EV, the Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, the Genesis GV60, the Kia EV9, and the Honda Prologue. Now let's talk about the 5 vehicles that are actually worth your money in 2026. The ones that consistently show up near the top of predicted reliability data year after year, and that mechanics quietly recommend to their own families without hesitation. The first is the Toyota Corolla. It is not exciting. It will never be exciting. And that is exactly the point. The naturally aspirated engine and conventional automatic transmission are about as simple and proven as anything on the road, and that mechanical simplicity translates directly into some of the strongest predicted reliability scores of any vehicle sold in America. A well-maintained Corolla with regular oil changes will often run past 200,000 miles without major drivetrain work, and it holds its value remarkably well at resale. The second is the Honda Civic Hybrid. Honda brought genuine hybrid refinement to the Civic, returning outstanding fuel economy without sacrificing the reliability Honda's compact lineup is known for. The 2-motor system shares its underlying logic with Honda's larger hybrids, benefiting from years of real-world refinement rather than launching as something brand new. For commuters who want low running costs in a compact footprint, this is about as smart a buy as the segment offers. The third is the Subaru Crosstrek. Standard all-wheel drive, a naturally aspirated engine in most trims, and genuinely useful ground clearance make it a practical choice for real winters or rougher roads without stepping up to something larger and thirstier. Subaru's reliability data has strengthened considerably in recent generations, and the Crosstrek pairs mechanical simplicity with genuine off-pavement capability. It's a vehicle that quietly does its job for years without drama. The fourth is the Toyota Camry Hybrid. Toyota's hybrid system here is one of the most proven powertrains in the industry, refined across generations and backed by enormous real-world mileage data. It delivers excellent fuel economy, a comfortable ride, and predicted reliability scores that consistently sit near the top of the mid-size sedan category. If you want a family sedan you can drive for a decade with minimal surprises, this is close to as safe a bet as exists right now. And the fifth is the Honda CR-V Hybrid, the same vehicle recommended twice already in this video, and for good reason. It combines genuine practicality, strong predicted reliability, excellent real-world fuel economy, and a hybrid system with years of proven refinement. It's roomy enough for most families and shows up consistently near the top of predicted reliability data in its class. When people ask what to buy and keep for a decade without headaches, this is one of the first vehicles I mention. Here's the honest truth to close on. A neglected Toyota can absolutely be a worse buy than a well-maintained GMC, Genesis, Rivian, Kia, Mazda, Chevrolet, or Honda. Predicted reliability data tells you the odds, not a guarantee. And service history matters more than any badge on the hood. So whatever you end up buying, get a full pre-purchase inspection, ask for complete maintenance records, check for open recalls, and don't fall in love with a vehicle before you've looked underneath it. If this kind of straight, honest car advice helped you out, give the video a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.